tell you that they love you when they never mean it. True love come from God in the name of Jesus. Turn my back on the king, I committed treason. Thank God he forgives, and his name I'm preaching. Screaming Jesus.
What's up, YouTube? You're Inside the Edge, and I'm back with another video. Thank you guys for tuning in, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm excited to do this video. Today, I want to talk about the Orlando Magic, but with that being said, guys, I know the NBA season is coming to a wrap. It's looking like the Celtics may close out this series early. I mean, a lot of us is hoping for a better outcome or just at least a more competitive series, but even though the NBA is coming to an end, I'm still going to be, dropping a lot of NBA content. I'm going to be dropping a lot of highlight videos when it comes to the Summer League. I will be doing breakdown videos on a lot of the young rookies that's going to be drafted. So it's going to be a really good offseason. I'm also going to cover a lot of free agent signings, trade moves that happens. So I got you guys covered. So with that being said, I want to jump right into it. Today I want to talk about Anthony Black. I want to talk about this Orlando Magic team because this team has shown that, they pretty much, shocked us a little bit, for the way that, they made the playoffs this year. Pablo Banchero has just been playing some great basketball, guys. I mean, this team has exceeded expectations this season. The future looks bright. Pablo Banchero has been getting tons of contribution from his teammates. When you look at, Wagner, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Jonathan Isaac, Weldon Carter Jr., etc. But one guy that a lot of us expect to blossom next season is going to be Anthony Black. Now, Anthony Black, looking at his stats last year, he didn't really have the greatest stats last year, but when he was on the court, you can see that his length and his mobility to play on both ends of the ball has really been a huge asset for this team. I mean, that is looking like his strengths. When you look at the way he's fighting through screens, the way he plays defense out on the perimeter, he plays, really strong, and he gets into his opponent's face. You can see the dog in him, and that's something that a lot of us are seeing early in his career where this guy wants to compete. So he has that going for him. Him being 20 years of age, like I mentioned, he's an excellent guard defender, but offensively, he still needs plenty of work if he wants to really be a key piece for this Orlando Magic team in the future. Looking at, Coach Mosley, I mean, he pretty much went with a lot of his veteran players, for the most part this season. When you look at Jalen Suggs, Gary Harris, Cole Anthony, and Markelle Fultz, I mean, it was really hard for Anthony Black to get in the rotation when you have those guys ahead of him. And, throughout the season, those point guards dealt with injuries. So that pretty much kind of helped, Anthony Black get into the rotation early in the season. He did average 16.9 minutes per game over the span of 69 games that he played in the regular season. In the playoffs, his minutes dropped to 5.5 minutes per game, which is expected, guys. Like I said, most, coaches, they always go with the veteran option over the rookies, especially when it comes to critical moments. So it's looking like, Anthony Black, he pretty much didn't really get his opportunities in big moments, but that's why it's always next season in development. And, looking at last season, the Orlando Magic, they desperately needed playmaking. And I think this upcoming season, that's going to be the focal point of who's going to be the guard for this Orlando Magic team that can be a distributor. Because when you look at, who was the playmaker last year for this offense, it was pretty much Banchero and Wagner. These were the two guys that was pretty much orchestrating the offense. So with Anthony Black, he has a long summer ahead of him. He has to, continue to work on certain parts of his game. Three-point shooting should definitely be up there. Statistically, Black shot well from long range, hitting 39.4% from his threes during the season, but he shot those shots at a low volume. So again, guys, it comes down to confidence, him being a consistent jump shooter. And once he has that, confidence where he can be a threat, shooting the ball, that's what's going to get him, minutes on the court. And I also think that, this Orlando Magic team, I think they're going to let go of Markelle Fultz and Gary Harris. I think they're going to let them walk in free agency. So I think that's going to give Anthony Black some playing time. And, once he gets into that rotation and once he's that 6 men off the bench for this team, I think, him playing with the starters, that's going to get him to the next level where he's going to see the game faster. He's going to be able to throw lobs to Carter or Banchero. He's going to, be able to, really play at a high level when he has, his teammates around, the starters around him, because your starters is what makes you really shine. So it'll be really cool to see him play with the first unit next season a lot more rather than play with the second unit. But sky's the limit for Anthony Black. One thing that I said that he has going for him is his defense, guys. The way he can defend, the way he fights through ball screens. This guy, he loves to compete. And offensively, if he just continues to work on his mid-range, this guy, he does, have slashing ability. He can penetrate to the rim. Again, he creates offense, and I think he is exactly what this Orlando Magic's team needs, because Banchero, again, as much as a distributor he can be, it's always good to have a floor general, and that is exactly what Anthony Black is. So with that being said, guys, I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm definitely going to talk a lot more Orlando Magic basketball later in the summer, depending on what moves happens. But I really liked what I seen from Anthony Black this year. The way he's been hustling, playing defense, his energy has been great, and sky's the limit for this kid. So with that being said, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
Tell you that they love you when they never mean it. True love come from God in the name of Jesus. Turn my back on the king, I committed treason. Thank God he forgives, now his name I'm preaching. Screaming Jesus.